Welcome to Green U. I'm Teddy Lutelier, Sustainability Manager for University of Miami, and I welcome you to this webinar. Today we receive Cesar Alfredo Nanni from Universidad de Monterrey in Mexico to talk about the inclusion of sustainability in all aspects of the university's life in the Hemisphere, and specifically, obviously, in northern Mexico. Let me give you a little bit of background on Alfredo. Alfredo is the Sustainability Coordinator at Universidad de Monterrey, UDEM, and faculty in the Undergraduate Sustainability Program. He holds an undergraduate degree in Mechanical Engineering and a master's degree in Environmental Engineering and Energy Management. Since 2016, he has served in the Advisory Council of ASHE, the American Association for the Advancement of Sustainability in Higher Education, in the Committee of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. He has collaborated with the Climate Reality Leadership Corps as a mentor, and with local NGOs in Monterrey that promote sustainability education. And in 2019, he decided to start his PhD studies in sustainability education at Prescott College. So we have a special history between Alfredo and I had the privilege to meet this brilliant and passionate colleague 3 years ago in San Antonio, Texas, at our annual ASHE Summit. I think we have several members of ASHE in the webinar today. And the fun fact is that I used to live in Mexico, in Saltillo, Coahuila, and it's like 1 hour from Monterrey. And it just happened that that's the town where Alfredo's parents live, so it's a small world. A little bit of housekeeping before we start. We'll have a Q&A session at the end. So anytime you want to ask a question to Alfredo, please do so by using the Q&A. The chat is disabled, but the Q&A is open for you to ask questions anytime during this webinar. And there will be a recording of this webinar. We'll send it to all the attendants, so be ready to receive some news from us. And with that, Alfredo, welcome.
Thank you, Teddy. And I have to thank you for all the effort for doing this, and also Brandon for putting all together. So I hope everything works as you plan and I accomplish my mission. So I'm going to share my screen and I hope you can see it. Can you see it now, Teddy? Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for taking the time to listen to this sustainability history of the Sustainability Center at Universidad de Monterrey. So I'm going to tell you the story of how we went from 0 to achieving silver in the STARS program from ASHE. And I have to give you a little background of the university so you can see all the things that we went through, and probably you can see what are the challenges we're facing right now. Our university, it's a private Catholic institution, and it was founded 50 years ago. It is located in San Pedro Garza Garcia in Nuevo León. It's a state that is in the northern part of Mexico. And in 2019, we have almost 10,000 undergraduate students. We have 46 different undergraduate programs and almost 3,609 graduate students divided in 18 different programs. On the left, you can see a beautiful photo of our architecture, art, and design school. It's a really pretty building, and I'm gonna talk a little more about that in the next few slides. So the story starts in 2008 when the university decided to establish in its mission that we contribute to the construction of a sustainable society. And 3 years later, I wonder if people didn't know what sustainability was in 2008, but in 2011, they decided to create the Sustainability Center. Probably because they realized they needed to measure how they were contributing to sustainability, and they just needed someone to do that. So they created the Sustainability Center in 2011, and in 2012, we got an invitation from ASHE to be part of a pilot. STARS and ASHE were very well established in the US and Canada, but they were trying to open to the globe. So they created the pilot, we got the invitation, and we accepted. So we became part of ASHE, and they were piloting STARS. So that same year, we applied STARS, but we only got reporter level. We wanted to know how well or bad we were doing, and STARS was a great tool to know that. As you heard before, my background doesn't include people. I'm an engineer, so I'm very good with numbers. I'm very good at controlling and mitigating pollution, but I never consider people. So STARS was a very good tool to open our vision and what we wanted to do. On 2012, we got the rating system, and we decided that we wanted to align what we were doing to STARS. So if we wanted to be rated by STARS, we wanted to have those strategies aligned. So we kept working, and I'm going to talk to you about those strategies later. But in 2015, we got bronze. That year was when it started to be an official program. It stopped being a pilot. So we submitted our report, and we were really excited that we just got to the first step. 2017, we did our best work, and we got silver. And it was really cool, because this is something you can tell the community that someone else is assessing you, or we are using their guidelines. So we find STARS really helpful for doing that. That's one of the photos of the sustainability team. Debbie is not part of the sustainability team, but that's one of the good, cool pictures we have. On the right, you can see Hortensia, she is the director of the center. Wearing black is Sylvia, and she's in charge of sustainability education. Maria Alicia, she's in charge of an NGO. I'm going to talk about that later. Then there's me, Debbie. Maureen, she's in charge of the Cygnus initiative. And on the back, you can see Charlie, and he works with Sylvia on sustainability education. And I'm going to talk a little more about that. Another thing I want to tell you is that I'm going to talk about sustainability at UDEM. And there have been so many good efforts and work from other areas. Not everything that I'm going to mention here is done by us. So I'm going to tell you about that. So we have our mission is to create a culture of sustainability in every person and department at the university. And we want to empower them to be agents of change. And we decided we didn't want to create anything new. We wanted to work with what was available. And that was the STARS guidelines. So we work in these 4 areas. We have a strategic line on sustainability education. We have one on engagement. We work on construction, operations, and maintenance. And we have another one in administration and other initiatives. So everything we do, we want to fit them in those 4 areas, because the STARS report assessed those. So we just wanted to fit the STARS in what we were doing. A little bit about sustainability education is that we wanted to incorporate sustainability into every academic course at the university. At the beginning, we didn't do this in a formal way. We were just approaching certain faculty, friends of us, and telling them how to incorporate sustainability. But in 2019, we decided it was a good idea to create a program and have something established so faculty can access to it and get something from it. In 2019, we really didn't know how to make a workshop on how to incorporate or infuse sustainability into the curriculum. So what we did is we reached out to the Sustainability Curriculum Consortium, and with them, we created a workshop. One of the members of the SEC came over and did the workshop, Ashwani. He was a great facilitator. And that was a great workshop. Like, faculty were really engaged. They were very excited that they could incorporate these new things or new ways to engage students to solve issues, local and global issues. In 2020, we decided we wanted to do it, but by ourselves. So Sylvia, who is in charge of sustainability education, and I started working on this workshop for our faculty. So the first time was an outsourced program, and now it's an official institutionalized program. And the good thing about that is that we have a Center for Innovation and Development, and they offer courses to faculty. So after very long talks and discussions, they agreed to incorporate our workshop as part of the offer they have. So that's really good, because now we're going to offer this workshop on how to infuse sustainability into the curriculum through an official center at the university. So I told you that not all the work is from us. We depend on many different departments. And I think this was one of those great achievements, because it was a win-win for the Innovation Center and for us. So we're working together now. And I think sustainability is about working together and creating things for and to help others. In 2015, the university decided to create an undergraduate program on sustainability. It's an engineering on sustainability and innovation and energy. And having that program was something really good, because now our students are doing their projects on campus. So they're trying to solve issues. That means more hands to help. And we had 11 students graduated from the program, and we have around 100 that are currently part of the program. So that's a lot of hands to work. That's a lot of brains and ideas to create a more sustainable community. So that's really good. And that also helped us because we have a great relationship with the director of that program. So it's a win-win program too. And one of the good things about that program is that the students upon graduation have to make a project. And this semester, a group of 3 students did the carbon footprint calculation of one building using the greenhouse gas protocol guidelines. And then they make mitigation scenarios. So that was really good because these 3 students spent a lot of time doing the calculations. At this moment, we only do scope 1 and 2 for the university, and we know scope 3 is really important. So these girls did scope 1, 2, and 3, and I think that's really helpful because now we have a strategy and a method to do it. So what we want to do now is to open this to other buildings and at some point have the carbon footprint of the entire university. And probably at some point, we can do the nitrogen footprint too. So having students involved in sustainability is really good. Like, it helps a lot. Another way we're incorporating sustainability into the academic area is we created 2 sustainability co-curricular courses. One of those is called Meta, and it was created in 2015. This is a mandatory course for every freshman. And one of the topics of that course is sustainability. So it's a really good thing that all students have to go through this course, because in this course, they learn about what is sustainability, what are the SDGs, how they can incorporate sustainability into things they do every day. And they also take the SULI test. It's a sustainability literacy test. And it's a really cool thing because they can try to learn what they don't know. It's a cool thing. You can look it up. The sustainability literacy test is, I think it's free for universities, but you can go into the website and see it. The other co-curricular course we have is Impacto Ambiental y Soluciones, Environmental Solutions and Sustainability. And it started in 2016. It started with 1 group, and now we have 4 or 5 groups. So we have around 100 students. And it's amazing how students are really engaged into this course. And on the end of the course evaluation, some of the comments is that this course should be mandatory too. So those are really good comments to hear from students. You don't hear that very often, but we did on that course. I know we have a lot more things to talk about, like research, but I just want to go through engagement because we don't have a lot of time. But if you have questions, that some things that I'm not talking about, you can just put it on the chat box and I can send you an email if I don't have the information right now. But we do have strategies on research. On engagement, the way we engage or get to our students is through Facebook. We have a Facebook account. It's a fan page. We have 3,553 followers. I don't know if that's a lot or not, but I think it's a lot. We don't have an Instagram account because it's really a lot of work to do, and we got the recommendation to just stick to one social media. And at this moment, we're using Facebook. And it's a good way to reach to people outside. You can see some of the posts we use on our Facebook account. We try to, every celebration, try to connect it with sustainability. We try to, every important international holiday, try to connect it with sustainability and invite people to live in more sustainable ways. That's how we do it and why we use Facebook. Another thing we want to talk about engagement is we have a student group that focuses on promoting sustainable lifestyle. And I remember the first time we tried to create the group, it wasn't a very good group, but now students are really engaged and they are in charge of planning and doing the Earth Week during the spring semester and the Sustainability Campus Week on the fall semester. And during the semester, they have many activities, but those are the 2 big events they work in each semester. Having a student group is really helpful because they have these cool ways to reach to other peers. And sometimes when we try to reach students, well, they don't really listen to us. So listening from another student is really helpful. So those students are really cool if you can identify them in your university and bring them to your work or your office and have them as allies. Also, like, that's a great strategy and it's a really good one and it will work. We have another student group, but this is part of the undergraduate program. So you have to be part of the undergraduate program to be in this student association. And they do so many work and they have so many activities. So at the beginning, when we didn't have the undergraduate program, it was hard because we were trying to reach students and doing activities, but from the sustainability office. Having the undergraduate program and the student association has helped us a lot because we don't have to do that anymore. We just guide them, we help them, we support them with whatever they need, and they do all the work. So as you can see, trying to find allies and people that are working with you will create a bigger momentum. And this is really helpful. It was hard. It's difficult because sometimes students just want to party and probably they don't take it very seriously, but that's your role. Just guide them to the right path. We have another student group that's called Millennium Fellowship, and this is a weird mixed program because they're not totally a student association or student group. They just work with me during a semester. And during that semester, they have to apply to the leadership program from the United Nations Academic Impact. So during that semester, what they have to do is to empower or assess a project or a program they already have in mind and just create it. So this is a little bit different. So I'm just going to skip it. This is one of the most interesting events we have regarding the engagement part is our sustainability conference. We have been doing this for 9 years and we do it every semester. We do it at the beginning of every semester. And in 2017, if I'm not mistaken, we redesigned the event and we aligned it with the SDGs. So you can see our slogan or our logo, it has all the colors of the SDG, and we try to do activities that align to the specific goals of the SDGs. This event is divided into three activities. We have speakers, we have an artisanal market with local producers, and also a social service fair. On the left, you can see the schedule of the event, and on the right, it's a picture of the dance group that collaborated with us to create a sustainability art show, and that was really good. At the beginning, I can tell you, doing this event was really hard. We tried to bring people and engage students into what we were doing. But 3 or 4 years now, people are really more engaged. I don't know what that happened, but students who want to participate, they are creating really cool projects. And this event is a platform for them to talk or show what they're doing. But we also bring people that have really good things to say, that are really leaders in the sustainability arena. And for example, you can see here, we have Vanessa Hawk. She works at, she's a reporter, I think in Univision, but she also is a co-founder of Sasha Mama. So she came, she had a workshop with students. It was a really cool experience. We had speakers like Catherine Hayhoe, and amazingly, she speaks Spanish. So her conference was totally in Spanish. It was a really cool thing. We had Stephen Mulkey, Devi Namugaji, sorry. And this event is so powerful because when students hear these people talking of what they do, how they are trying to create a more sustainable well, students really fall in love with that. So our sustainability conference is one of my favorite events every year. Here you can see two pictures of the artisanal market. And what we try to do during that week is to bring local producers. So our students can learn that buying local has a lower carbon footprint, and you are also supporting local producers. So it's a win-win for everyone. This is a really cool event, really spend a lot of money on the artisanal market. I shouldn't, but it's a really cool event. Sadly, next semester, our conference will be all virtual, so we won't have the artisanal market unless we find a solution to do it online. Another thing we do at the university, it has changed over the time, is we have a community garden. It's not really a community garden because it's inside of the residence hall. So it's basically for the residents. You can see there, they really got a lot of food. And every Thursday at the residence hall, they have a dining class, a cooking class. So often they use what they got from the community garden to cook. So it's a really good strategy, and it's a good project to get students in touch with the land. So during the semester, they see how hard is the process to plant things, and then to harvest them. It's a really powerful thing. And then, sorry for that slide, it shouldn't be there. Now, talking a little bit of what we do in construction, operation, and maintenance is what other departments do, but I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about it. The green areas. This was a very hard and powerful project because, as you can see, we reconvert 25,000 square meters of parking lot to a green area and 20,000 square meters of unused land. You can see on the left of the picture, there's the brown area. So we had a lot of parking lots. And the idea with the new strategic construction plan is to make a more walkable campus. So what they did is to take off the parking lot, and they created a green area. The name of that area is El Solar. So you can see all those new trees, they're really big trees, green areas, and it's a cool thing because you're telling students that instead of a parking lot, we want to have a space, an open space, to create a community sense to people. There you can see another picture. So instead of having a parking lot, it's way better to have this cool, amazing park. Another project, one of the members of the Sustainability Office pushed and created is an air quality monitoring network. She really went deep on this project, and what she wanted to do is to assess air quality in the area. As a city, we have a very bad air quality. So the goal of this project is to know how good or bad the quality at the moment is, so we can tell our sports department to stop trainings. If the air quality is really bad, we don't want our students to be outside. So these sensors are in 2 areas of campus and in other of 6 of our high schools. So the idea is to add to this big network of monitoring air quality. If you go to purpleair.com, you can see the monitors, you can see how good or bad the air is, and then you can take actions. So I think this project is really good because it's telling people to care about what they're breathing. This other project is really, really old. It was one of the first projects we had. And what we wanted to do is to know what kind of waste we are creating. And we want our students to be able to do the separation, the sorting of the things they were purchasing on campus. So we had 3 different colors, and depending on what you have to put it on those different waste bins. At our university, we tried to get PET and aluminum cans in one bin, paper and all their other cardboards and things go into a different one. And we have a gray one that goes almost everything. We are trying and thinking if we should create different or more options to sort our waste. But I think with the amount of people we have right now, it's not a really good idea. So we're sticking with this and trying to create this culture in our students on how to sort the waste. Hopefully sooner we can have more options, but right now we only have 3. On the purchase area, we have worked with our purchase department, and one of the things we're really excited and happy that happened is that you cannot buy styrofoam at the warehouse at the university. So when departments want to buy stuff, styrofoam is not an option anymore. And now they have a greener option catalog. So our purchase department is really working on this and really pushing. And sometimes we have some wrong choices or backlashes, but it's a good effort what we're doing. On the energy management strategies, our construction department and maintenance has had changed all the T8 lamps to LEDs. So this is what they're doing. They're trying to change lamps, but also put in control systems. So when people are not using the classroom, the lights go off automatically. The aircon is controlled in the central station, and they're trying to purchase more energy efficient products. As I told you before, these strategies are not managed from the Sustainability Center, are managed from a different department. So all the construction, maintenance, and operation is a whole different team. We try to work with them as much as possible, try to guide them, try to invite them to take more sustainable decisions. And so far it has worked very well. Another thing that has happened in our university is that all new constructions should be LED certified. And that's a good thing because the new buildings are LED. Are LEED certified. We have 2 silver and 1 gold. But we know that it's not enough. So what we're trying to do now is to create a program, a LEED lab program. So our buildings can be LEED O&M. So I think we gave the first step. So all new construction should be LEED, but I think we have to push more. We had to push harder so we can get the funding to do it O&M. On the right, you can see a picture of one of our new buildings. I think that's a render. And the cool thing about that building is that it's underground. So it was an interesting way to build not to up to the top, from the ground under. It's a really cool building. If you have an opportunity and want to come to visit it, you're more than welcome. And also you can be a speaker at our sustainability conference. We also have a mobility department, and they have 4 strategies. One of those strategies, they created a route so students can get on a free bus, so they don't have to get on their cars and come to the campus. So they just can jump or hop on that van, and that van will take them to the campus. We have another program, it's a carpool program. So we have an app, you sign up on that app, and then you can get the contact of people that are doing the same route as you at the same time. And they also have a bike and education program. And the goal of this department is to reduce the amount of cars that are coming to campus. Now, administration and initiatives. In 2015, we did our first sustainability report, and we did it with the GRI guidelines. After 2015, the communication department took over the report, and the institutional report is done using GRI guidelines. So it was a great strategy, because now all the institutional initiatives have to align to what the GRI is asking. And our reports can be found on the GRI database. If you want to look them, they're there. Another initiative we have at the Sustainability Office, this is is we have a nonprofit organization inside the Sustainability Office. And this NGO works with teachers from elementary and secondary schools on how to incorporate sustainability into their institutions. FUMSEC, it's the name of the NGO, has 2 projects. One is the Education for Sustainability course, and the other one is the Green Schools program. So students from elementary and secondary schools take the sustainability education course, and then they have to implement what they learn into their schools. They do it for a year, they submit the results, and they become part of the Green Schools program. So it's a really cool way to engage with students from early ages. So when they come to the university, they're already very green. Another initiative we have is the SECNUX UDEM. This is an alliance with SECNUX Foundation. SECNUX is a big company in our city, and they are working with us through this initiative. And this initiative has 3 working lines: to create awareness, to create applied research, and to be a liaison with other members of the community. One of the projects from this initiative is Premio SECNUX UDEM, or SECNUX UDEM Challenge. And it's a really great program because you have to make teams. You build teams of 3 to 4 students. They can be from any university. It's open to any student from any undergraduate program. and they have to work with NGOs. And they have to create a sustainability plan that focuses on energy efficiency, water conservancy, and waste management. And they had to submit the results of the challenge. And if they win, they get 500,000 pesos, but not for the students. That money is used to build the project. The students do get a prize, but it's not that. So it's a really cool thing because our students learn that they can apply what they learn on the classroom to a project that can be helpful and that can be built. This happens every year. So every year, a new construction of 500,000 pesos is done. You can see that on that picture. That was the 2017 winner. You can see students were from two different universities. Some students were from our university and some students were from the other University Tecnológico de Monterrey. And they worked on this NGO, Hogar Ortigosa. We have more winners. I didn't put them here. Well, you can see pictures of the winners over there. And I think for today, that's all, because we really want to have a conversation. We want to talk. We want to listen to what you have to say. We have a lot of challenges. I know them, and we can discuss them. The idea of today is to open this stage to other universities in the hemisphere to join and to create a cohort. We want to share all these cool practices. We want to create a community because sustainability is everyone's work. You can see there, if you want to contact me, you can get my email. And some of my students that I talk to, Aishi. So thank you so much. I'm going to stop sharing. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Alfredo. That's really comprehensive. It's like we did a tour of UDEM. Don't need to go there. We cannot.
Oh, no, you should come.
I will one of those days. I'll pass by Saltillo at the same time. I want to, definitely. That's one of my goals. With my wife, we want to go back. But I have some questions from the Q&A. So I'm going to start with the first one. And I think you kind of addressed it during the presentation, but beyond educating students about sustainability, are there any community outreach initiative that the university does?
Yes, we do have a lot of outreach activities, and what we want to try to do is to connect our academic activities with the community. We have a strategy that is highly impulsed in the university, and they're really putting a lot of effort on this, is service learning. So we want our students to apply what they learn in the classroom outside. We do that on the course Meta. So every group should do a community project. It's only, I think, 6 hours, but during the whole semester, they go to the community, they do an assessment of what is needed, and they try to get resources, and then they do the activity. And we have a department that works on that part, working with the community. And I think I only focus on the ones that are related, sustainability related.
Yeah, no, but I it's pretty amazing what everything that you've been achieving over there. And in terms of community outreach, the relationship with the K-12 schools, that's also a pretty amazing. We're trying. We have a lot of links, but not one directly on sustainability at the University of Miami. We're actually developing one with the county right now, Miami-Dade County. It was very, very, very powerful. And another question that just came in as a person would like to hear more about what strategies you use to add the sustainability courses as a requirement for all students. I think you have one specifically, and another one that you may want to make mandatory for all students. But how did you make that one sustainability course mandatory for all students? I think it's a question that a lot of sustainability coordinators, managers, directors have, because it's not easy. So how did you do it?
Well, one of the things I have learned during all these 9 years I have been at the sustainability office is that you have to make someone else buy into what you want, because we cannot do everything. So at the beginning, we were trying to reach faculty that we knew and try to buy them coffee, start a conversation on how we can bring students to learn or want to learn about sustainability. I think that strategy didn't really work because what we wanted to do or what we achieved was really narrow. It was little, because going one on one, it was really very hard process. So the strategies we're trying to take is to approach different centers and approach different entities that work with students. And through them, we want to infuse sustainability. For example, we have a school of, it's called first year school. So all students take a seminar during the first semester on how to use the library, how to use certain services at UDEM, how to, what are the ethic code. So they learn how to live uh, their university experience through a semester. So we approached those people and they had infused sustainability into activities during the whole semester. So they're doing that through the first year seminar. We are trying to approach faculty to the Innovation Center. We learned that faculty need incentives to do things. Everyone needs incentives. I need incentives to do things. So through this center, they get hours of the amount of work they put into the working sustainability workshop, it's recognized by someone else. So that's the way we approach those teachers that now are infusing sustainability. We have worked with many departments. We have worked with the residence hall because they have activities. So we want to infuse sustainability through students. So I think what I'm trying to say is that you have to find those key people on campus that have projects or already strategies, and just to add something else. We don't want to create something new. We just want to twitch and make some changes in what's already there. It's really hard because not everyone buys in.
Sure. And actually, I have a follow-up question to this, because you mentioned the fact that you started with a bottom-up approach, and that it was difficult because it's a lot of energy to try to convince people one by one. And at one point, it's important. It's a job that needs to be done also, but depending on the size of your team, it's not always feasible. But you realize that you also needed the top to bottom approach. So my question actually is, did you receive the support of your leadership at the university? And do you have something like an executive sustainability committee, advisory board, that actually take decisions and give you the, let's say, the big roadmaps that have to be followed by the Sustainability Center, or like in the case of this mandatory class and sustainability in the curriculum, are you working directly with the provost? How does it work?
Well, I think that's a really hard question, because at the beginning, it was just two of us at the sustainability office. And a funny thing is that the sustainability office is inside student affairs. So when you're inside of student affairs, it's hard for faculty to take you seriously. So the way we did try to incorporate sustainability at that point was to work on student affairs. So we work with the leadership department, spirituality department, sports, and at some point we magically, I don't know if it wasn't planned, everyone started looking at us. When I think that happened on 2015 when we got our sustainability report, and following the GRI guidelines included everyone. So I think everyone saw them on the big picture and they started to understand that it was a big puzzle and everyone was adding a piece. After 2015, we started to incorporate it and grow as a team. I think now it's I think it's 9 of us working on different projects, and it's a really great team that is working really hard. We don't have an executive director or advisory board that focus on sustainability, but how we done or try to get our thoughts into the big executive board is through students. I think everyone listens what students have to say. So we have a student federation group. So through them, many sustainability strategies were heard on the very top management. We have an executive advisory board for the student affairs area, and we do have an advisor for the sustainability part of what we're doing. We had Dan Scleroux in the past few years, and now our advisor is Stephen Mulkey. And I think when Stephen came for the very first time, our top administrators started listening what he had to say. So I'm not really proud that someone from the US had to came over and tell us what to do, because we have been telling them what to do for a lot of years, but it happened and they listened to him. So just take advantage of that. So I think that happened to us. So I think talking to Stephen and asking them for help if we know he's going to be heard, approaching and using that channel. It's
just like when you decided to use stars, which originally is and still actually is totally in English, but you decided to basically do the job of translating each credit, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Well, yeah. At the beginning, we didn't really know what sustainability was, and STARS was a great tool. And it is a great tool because it doesn't just tell you to incorporate sustainability into a curriculum, but it has so many credits. And working at the sustainability office, using STARS, you can see gaps in your university, and you just can incorporate things. And not everything applies to us in Mexico. So what we had to do is to decide which credits we were going to use and which ones weren't really helpful for us. And
yeah, and I'm amazed on how you you did it, and that's the kind of partnership bridges that we're trying to create. I know that our President Julio Frank, that you probably know, he was the Minister of Health in Mexico a few years ago, as trying to really develop, being more of an hemispheric university, trying to build bridges between university across the hemisphere. So I'm happy that you accepted that invitation. It's the first time that we have something like this. It's really cool. And it's not a coincidence that we mentioned stars and Aishi at the end of this, because we have like 3 minutes left at the end of this presentation, because really I wanted to also acknowledge I think the presence of Julian Dautremont as a program director for Aishi, and the fact that STARS has been so instrumental for us, sustainability coordinator across the US, Canada, but also Mexico and some other Latin American countries. I think it tells a lot about the quality of this tool and the quality of the organization, Aishi. So Julian was actually thinking of why not trying to suggest it's a potential project that we invite everybody on this call to join, create a cohort on STARS. So it's a cohort of 5 to 15 universities from the hemisphere. They've done it in Australia, apparently, so it's already working there. And the idea would be to do the same, but for Latin America, including Canada, obviously, but I know that a lot of Canadian universities already are applying to STARS. And develop kind of a hemispheric cohort for sustainability in higher education. If you're interested, you'll receive an email soon. We are recording this webinar, and we have all the information from you guys, from the attendees, and so you'll receive an email with the recording, and also with some of the questions that we have for you in terms of how you feel you could be involved, engaged in this project. So with that, I'm gonna thank you a lot, Alfredo, because I know with COVID we're all so. How is everything with COVID over there? Are you coping? It's you told me you have a curfew from 10 to 5. It's but in terms of sustainability, I'm sure they have a lot of lessons that you took from this crisis.
Yeah, I think we have learned a lot. We have learned that we can work from home. That's really important mind shift. And we also have learned that we are consuming far too much stuff. And probably it's a good thing to stop and think, what are we, or how we consider success, if things makes us happy or people makes us happy. And I think there's a lot of things to talk about. COVID is just a little issue. We shouldn't forget about climate change, biodiversity, integrated laws. There are like so many issues. So I think it's a good way to stop our lives and start thinking mindfully about what we're doing and what we appreciate. So thank you so much, Steady, for this. Also, thank you, Stars, Aishi. It's been great because I've learned so much from Aishi, from everyone at Aishi, Nikia, Johnson, Julian.
So yeah, I'm sure it's just the first step in a long trip we're going to take together, I hope, and we'll invite anyone who wants to participate in this journey. So we'll be back soon, and for now, I think the webinar is gonna end. So thanks to Brandon, also our IT specialist, who's been behind the curtain and really great. Thank you, Alfredo, and see you soon.
Thank you, everyone.